10 oldest living creatures on Earth. Living creatures under natural conditions rarely approach their maximum possible age because of very high death rates due to varying factors. Humans have a long and increasing lifespan, with the oldest human having to live for 122 years. However, some species live much longer, with one considered immortal. If you're new here to our channel, welcome. Please subscribe and turn on notifications to get updated on our next uploads. Here are the top 10 oldest living creatures on Earth. Number 1. Turritopsis dohnii. Also known as the immortal jellyfish, is a species of small, biologically immortal jellyfish found worldwide in temperate to tropical waters. The supposedly immortal jellyfish has captivated scientists over decades. To date, it is the very only species that has been called biologically immortal. These small, transparent animals hang out in oceans around the world and can turn back time by reverting to an earlier stage of their life cycle. It turns out that once the adult form is full, at 4.5 mm wide species Turritopsis dohnii will then reproduce, and then they don't die but transform themselves back into their young state. Their tentacles retract, their bodies shrink, and then they sink to the ocean floor and start the cycle all over again. Theoretically speaking, this process can go on so indefinitely. Thus, the only known way they can die is if they get consumed by another fish or if a disease strikes the jelly. Number 2. The glass sponge. Though sea sponges may be mistaken as plants due to their physical appearances, they are actually animals and have been in the ocean for over 500 million years. Some researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Chemistry in Mainz have now determined the age of a more than 2 meters long and 1 centimeter thick glass sponge to be about 11,000 years old. It is amongst the longest living animal species existing to this day. Sea sponges are stuck to the floor of the ocean and can't move, but then they filter lots of water for food and oxygen and are able to reproduce both sexually and asexually. A sponge's most important feature is the pores on the surface of its body. These pores help bring back water, food and oxygen from the body, as well as removing waste. If the pores get blocked by dirt or air, the sea sponge will die. Number 3. The black coral. On the third ranking, we have black corals or thorn corals, which are an order of soft deep water corals. Using the Lab Center for Accelerator Mass Spectrometry, some researchers use radiocarbon dating to determine the ages of gold coral and specimens of the deep water black coral. The longest lived in both species was 2,740 years and 4,270 years, respectively. At more than 4,000 years old, the deep water black coral is the oldest living skeletal aquatic marine organism known. Black corals are found in all oceans, but are most common in deep water habitats of tropical and subtropical seas. Despite its name, a black coral is rarely black, and depending on the species, it can be white, red, green, yellow, or brown. It is believed that simply touching corals to see what they feel like can cause the death of an entire colony. Oils from your skin can disturb the delicate mucous membranes which protect the animals from disease. Number 4. Ming the clam. In fourth place, we have an ocean quang clam named Ming. The ocean quahog is a species of edible clam. This species is native to the North Atlantic Ocean and it is harvested commercially as a food source. The clam was nicknamed Ming by British media as it was born during the rule of the Chinese Ming dynasty. Ming was collected along with other specimens in 2006 by a team of British scientists on a fact-finding mission off the coast of Iceland to study the effects of climate change. On the basis of counting the annual growth bands on the cross-sectional surface of the hinge region of the shell, researchers announced that the clam was 405 years old. It is worth noting that sadly, the 3.4-inch clam died by the time scientists managed to verify its true age. However, in 2013, the scientists re-examined the shell using more precise techniques, and the count rose to 507 years. Ming the clam broke the Guinness World Record as the oldest animal in the world and holds that record to date. Number 5. Greenland shark, 400 years. The Greenland shark, also known as the Gary shark, is a large shark of the family Somicicioidae, sleeper sharks, closely related to the Pacific and Southern sleeper sharks. This species is mostly restricted to the North Atlantic and Arctic Ocean waters. The Greenland shark has the longest known lifespan of all vertebrate species, estimated to live about 400 years. Greenland sharks are among the largest sharks in the world, comparable in size to great whites. They have been known to grow as long as 6.4 meters and are as heavy as 1,000 kilograms. Though the typical Greenland shark weighs around 400 kgs and is about 2.44 to 4.8 meters long. Greenland sharks are considered to be a near-threatened species by the International Union of Conservation of Nature. The species was valued for its liver oil About 114 liters of liver oil can be obtained from a large specimen. In the early 1900s, as many as 30,000 Greenland sharks were caught a year. In the present day, the annual take is far smaller, barely 100. Number 6. Adwaita tortoise. Adwaita, also spelled Adwatai, was a male Aldabra giant tortoise that lived in the Alipore Zoological Gardens of Kolkata, India. Tortoises are one of the longest living species. It belongs to the reptile species of the family Tetudinae and can survive on land as well as in water. Weighing 250 kg, Adwaita was a solitary animal. His shell cracked in late 2005 and a wound developed in the flesh underneath the crack. The wound became infected and eventually led to his death from liver failure on 22nd of March 2006. Adwaita is estimated to have been at least 250 years old then. If this estimate can be confirmed, Adwaita will have been the oldest known tortoise of modern time. Number 7. Hanako the koi fish. Hanako was a scarlet koi fish owned by Dr. Kome Koshiara. The name Hanako translates to flower girl in Japanese. Far exceeding the average lifespan for a breed, she was reportedly 226 years old at the time of her death. Her age was determined in 1966 by removing 2 of her scales and examining them extensively. At this time, Hanako weighed 7.5 kg and measured 70 centimeters in length. Dr. Komai Hanako's owner made a broadcast to the whole Japanese nation about the story of Koi Hanako, describing Hanako as his dearest friend. At this time, Hanako was 215 years old. The fish went on to live another 11 good years until her unfortunate passing on 7/7/1977. Quite a memorable date. It is believed that the key reason for her amazing long lifespan was perhaps the crystal clear waters of the Japanese mountains and the excess love and care of her owners. Number 8. Bowhead whale. Next on the ranking is the bowhead whale. The bowhead whale is a species of baleen whale belonging to the family Balenidae and the only living representative of the genus Balena. Bowheads have the largest mouth of any animal, representing almost 1/3 of the length of the body. The longest baleen plates with a maximum length of 4 meters and may be the longest lived mammals with the ability to reach an age of more than 200 years. Bowhead whales are one of the few whale species that reside almost exclusively in the Arctic and subarctic waters, experiencing seasonal sea ice coverage, primarily between 60 to 70 degrees north latitude. In May 2007, scientists measured the ages of several bowhead whales. One specimen was estimated to be 211 years old. Other bowhead whales were estimated to be between 135 and 172 years old. Scientists attribute the bowhead whale's longevity to its icy, cold habitat and its resistance to cancer and aging, despite having thousands of more cells than other mammals. Number 9. Jonathan the giant tortoise. Tortoises have one of the longest lifespans of any animal, with the average ranging anywhere from 50 to 100 years. This explains why we have 2 known tortoises on our ranking. Jonathan is currently the oldest living tortoise in the world. In late 2017, it was reported that he was still alive about at 185 years old. Jonathan first arrived at St. Helena in 1882 and was a gift for the governor of the island at the time. He was believed to be about 50 years old when he arrived on the island. In 2016, Jonathan's diet was changed to help him reclaim his health and vitality. Jonathan was brought to St. Helena from the Seychelles in the Indian Ocean in 1882, along with 3 other tortoises at about 50 years of age. He continues to live on the grounds of Plantation House, the official residence of the governor, and is cared for by the government of St. Helena. Number 10. Henry the Tuatara. The Tuatara are only found in New Zealand and are sometimes referred to as the world's oldest living fossil. Although resembling most lizards, they are the only survivors of the reptile species which lived before the dinosaur age. Tuataras live for an average of 60 years, but for Henry, a Tuatara who has lived for 121 years and counting. Henry was at least 70 years old when he arrived at the museum, described to be grumpy and aggressive, who attacked other reptiles, including females, until a cancerous tumor was removed from his genitals in 2002. In 2009, he became a father to 11 reptiles at the ripe old age of 111 as a result of his treatment. Henry is still alive and healthy to date. There you have it. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, give us a thumbs up, turn on your notifications, and share the video with your friends.